morning, Camp Massatators, and it appears to be raining. Oh, but it's Taters Tuesday, so it's all okay. Yay! What'd you get for complaining about the heat, John? So per the ever unreliable weather forecast, this isn't going to last super long. And it's actually not that big of a deal to paddle in this if we don't have any wind.
We're gonna be a little bit on the later side getting out of camp today. We were waiting inside for the rain to stop for a little while. We're still gonna be out by 9 though, which is within our usual.
Challenge accepted.
And this camp has just been a really pleasant. I really love this type of camping. You have wooded, lush vegetation all around, but still open spots to be able to set up and walk around and do things at camp easily. And it's been quiet. There's the train noise is very far off in the distance and muted, and we're far away from the recreational centers. There hasn't been much boat traffic. Lots and lots of lovely bird music in the morning. Also, there were lots of fireflies last night and basically no mosquitoes. We've seen a couple of them around, but they've been pretty minimal. Part of that is due to the area, I think, but a large part of it also apparently is due to the drought. Once we get on the water today, we have about 18 miles to get to our next lock. That's going to be lock 13. And then shortly after lock 13, we're going to get to the town of Clinton, and that's where our place that we're staying tonight is. Once again, like the last step we did, we went with the Airbnb option. The only downside of this one is it's not riverfront, so we are going to have to get the cart out and portage about 0.8 of a mile to get there. But it looks like that's going to be flat through a park, through a couple residential streets. So with the cart, that should be a fairly easy portage. And that looked preferable to the hotel options, especially managing the boat. It's easier and gives us a lot more peace of mind to be able to put the boat in a private patio or garage versus locking it up to a tree outside of a busy 3-4 story hotel.
We kind of reflexively waited out the rainstorm, though honestly, with how warm it's been, I kind of would have rather been paddling in the middle of that, I think. Haven't seen many barges. It's mostly wreck boats, but there you go. He actually has 5 barges stacked. And all we think when we see that now, it's not like, oh no, we need to stay out of their way. That's easy enough. We're just worried about getting stuck for 2 hours at a lock while they have to go through. So we weren't able to get it on video, but last night we heard something that sounded like somebody throwing very large rocks into the water. It was apparently the huge fish. They started jumping right after dark. So guess which side of the boat Matt sits in? And which side Blondie sits in. So Jen just sprung on me as we're launching that we're not stopping for coffee up ahead because she's going to resupply out of the Airbnb.
Well, we can still stop for coffee if there's a place.
I thought you said there was a place.
I just couldn't check on the internet. There was no internet to check and see if there was coffee.
There's internet. Her phone's too old. It doesn't get 5G. Which is a shame, Jen, because you find around me that the vaccine, you know, it promotes the 5G. That guy in the IAT totally believes that. Don't think I've seen a fishing boat that had its own power washer.
Lots of turtles this morning. Matt always points them out for me.
So when I'm pointing out turtles to taters, I go, oh yeah, you see that little log that's an arch?
When we're this far out, it's a little harder to see them, but on the plus side, they don't jump off the log, which always makes me feel bad. I wasn't really sure what to expect before this trip as far as overall vibe on the river, and we've been told that the different sections are very different from each other. But sections like this, I feel like, are roughly pretty similar to the picture I had in my head before starting this trip of what would it be like on the Mississippi River.
You've talked to less people than I did, because everybody's like, you're gonna die, the barges will run you over.
Wide, slow-moving water, some traffic around, but tree-lined banks. Yeah, I don't understand yet all the warnings about the barges, and maybe it's just that when we get into the southern section, they're going to be moving a lot faster.
No dancing in the river down south.
Oh, it makes me so happy when you dance. But anyway, up here, they move really slowly. They're ginormous, so you can't miss them. So yeah, I suppose if you just went out right in front of one, you'd be in trouble, but you would never do that. They're so huge and enormous.
That sounds like you're tempting the universe to have us run over by a boat. Oh, there's another turtle off to the left. It's in that foreground branch going up.
Oh, I see.
And then there's another one on the left side.
Ah, turtles everywhere.
So this is basically Savannah, where we were originally going to resupply, but now that we're going into Clinton, we're just going to do it there. It'll let us triage everything, and we've got a bigger haul. So, however, the cool thing with Savannah is it looks like right ahead is this marina, and there may be a 4-mile channel that'll let us get out of the big water here. And here's our big gamble for the morning. Per the satellite and the river chart, this should go through. We'll see. If the water's too low, I get kind of nervous about the smaller ones, but this one looks fairly sizable. Also might keep us from the worst of the wind for at least a couple of miles. Turtles for taters. And now we're on to the slightly less fun part of the day. We have a long, big, busy open water section to get us to the lock. Pretty much any place where there is a big sand beach, we see the boats pile up and people just partying. Sadly, none of them have offered us a beer yet.
It looks like there's the main channel, what was maybe the original river. And then these were probably all little hills, and so when they flooded it, it just flooded all the low areas and created all these islands.
It looks like a cozy beach, other than probably covered in bird poop.
The main channel is over there on the other side of those islands, and it was okay, but a little choppy, a lot of weight, kind of loud. So we optimistically took a chance, thinking we could go to the left side of the islands, and we find ourselves once again walking the boat over very, very shallow water, possibly plowing through giant lilies. It looks passable on the Google satellite shot, but similar to things we've run into before, a lot of those pictures are from higher water. So it's a little bit of a risk every time we go and try and go out of the main channel. I'd say this time the risk definitely paid off. We only had to walk the boat just a very short ways, and then we got back out into big open water. And while big open water isn't normally our favorite, we have big open water all to ourselves, which is kind of a unique, cool feeling. We can just see the lock up ahead. About 5 miles of this, should be able to make pretty good time. Lock 13, this is southbound canoe.
13 back, it'll be about 10-15 minutes.
Thank you.
Man, he just did not want to chat. They're not chatty in this part of the lock system.
About 12 miles from the last one.
While they were kind of brusque over the radio, one of the lock employees actually did spend the entire time we were in the lock chatting with us. And even better, we decided in the name of science to try something. See, when the barges go through without a tug, they actually push them out by opening some valves, and the force of the water kind of carries it forward. And we were like, what if you did that for us? That would give us, a little scoot out past the gate. And we're through, and for the record, they can turn the valves on and give you a shove out like a barge. It's not as fun and awesome as you might think, though. It just kind of scooted us.
It helped though.
Apparently they didn't give us full power. If they'd given us full power, we were picturing fountains of water shooting us ahead. I thought we'd be past Clinton already. But the guys were really excited. They said they never got to try that before. For the record, if you're looking for a place to take a boat out, we would recommend not using this spot. But oh well. As Jen mentioned, we had found an Airbnb that was completely self-contained and had laundry and everything, so we decided, why the heck not? I swear this always sounds like less work when we're thinking about it. Oh yeah, why not? No problem. Then we're out here and it's like, oh.
The Airbnb we got came with a whole kitchen, which is totally overkill for what we need, but since we have it, we decided to actually cook dinner instead of going out and getting nachos or something. And so here's dinner, lots more veggies than I can fit in a backpacker stove pot. We did about 22 miles today of really nice paddling. Got into town, got showered, got fresh dinner, and we're spending 4th of July surrounded by fireworks in the town of Clinton, Iowa. Home sweet home for tonight.